Hello, Croeso i podlediad M-SParc. Yeah, I'm going to do the whole thing like that, yeah, Lois? Hello, Croeso i M-SPod. Welcome to M-SPod, the M-SParc podcast. I'm Iwan Pitts, I'm the marketing officer, and I'm joined today by a panel that's just done a panel for our tenants at the tenant breakfast discussing everything intellectual property. Do you want to introduce yourselves? We'll start with you, Emma.
Yes, my name's Emma Richards and I work for the Intellectual Property Office.
Great. Tristian?
My name's Tristian Griffiths and I own a company called YEM Player Care, providing emotional support to footballers and high-performing athletes.
Right, I'll just pause you there. High-performance athletes, what's that got to do with IP?
Well, to begin with, I just want to go back. When you said, welcome to M-SPod, I genuinely thought, this is called M-SParc.
Oh, yeah, the podcast called M-SPod, the building's called, and the business is called M-SParc.
See what you've done there.
He's had his own place of work wrong. That's what I thought. Either he has, or I have for years.
I guess we could call it M-Sport because obviously you work in football.
About intellectual property, BMW will be after us. Yeah, BMW have an M-SPod, don't they?
Yeah, they have an M-SPod.
I'm not aware of every single trademark that exists. I'm sorry.
We need to start registering these M's.
I'm just going to turn this way to any queries about this company has one, don't they? Yeah.
Do you know every single trademark on the register? No.
So yeah, the theme for Intellectual Property Day, which was this Sunday, was sport, which is why obviously we had a panel that was quite football dominated, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because we also had Neil. Neil, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Neil. I run a company called Brandified, and we design and develop apps.
And what was the most recent? What's your most recent project?
So we're currently working on an app called Pass, which collates casual play data from youngsters and puts it all in one place. And we're doing this for FA Cymru, so FAW.
Great stuff. Because you won a football
hackathon. I technically didn't win. I sort of won it and I didn't win it. And then M-SParc, being the fantastic facilities that they are, they pushed the FAW, they pushed Welsh Government, and we've actually got the project running now. So thanks to Braderi, thanks to Emily, thanks to Steph, thanks to Lois, thanks to everyone. Thanks to you, Wan. Sorry,
I didn't do anything.
You took my picture. You took a nice photo of it.
I did take a nice
photo.
Purposes, so. I think I took the photo before anything was confirmed as well. So that just pushed it over the edge.
So my smile was at 90% there. I could have given you like 110% smile, but I didn't know if it was going through then. So
waving the flag. Well, the scarf. You had a scarf, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we had a caterpillar come out. What was that about?
Not an actual caterpillar. It was a caterpillar in cake form.
Of course. Yeah, we should clarify.
No animals were harmed in the podcast.
So why were there cakes? Because we had several.
I bought them. That's why.
If only Lois was here to explain herself.
We were having a little chat yesterday about the whole Colin the Caterpillar debacle that happened.
Colin Cuthbert.
Yeah, I gotta be very careful about what I say, I think.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
No one's going to listen to this. I wouldn't worry about it.
Needless to say, Aldi upset at Marks and Spencer's over the Cuthbert reincarnation of Colin, I guess that's what you want to call it. So a bit of a copy of the OG Colin. So I think what we were trying to focus on there was the fact that you can't protect a cake. You know, anyone can make a cake. Anyone can make a cake in the shape of a caterpillar, but you just, once it's protected by branding and it's called Colin and it's got a particular colour around it, then you can't really copy those elements of it.
Yeah, interestingly, other supermarkets have the caterpillar and had caterpillars before. Why was it Aldi that got it?
Are available,
Oh, why was it Cuthbert that got called out? Was it Aldi just being Aldi on social media, or was it they just pushed them?
Just pushed their buttons a little bit.
Yeah, and now everyone's allowed to have a caterpillar cake.
They've always been allowed to have a caterpillar cake. I think they were quite close to the mark on the branding, so I think of all of the caterpillars that are on offer across all supermarkets, the one that looked closest to Marks and Spencer's was the one that Aldi was offering.
It's not very innovative, is it? I mean, really, someone should make a butterfly cake, because that's the next step.
A butterfly that turns, or a caterpillar that then
inside
turns into a butterfly.
Yeah. Why has nobody done that? But you were explaining the different kinds of intellectual property. The patents is one. So I guess I could patent a butterfly coming out of a caterpillar cake.
Possibly.
You seem dubious.
Yeah, patents tend to be for inventions, things that got a technical
new and novel. There's nothing more novel than a butterfly
coming out of a caterpillar is novel. It's new. It's
hasn't
innovative.
Been done before.
Whether anyone would buy it is another thing.
It is more innovative than just changing the colour of the box, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So you might be onto something there. I will wait to see that application come through the
anyone
post.
that is listening that isn't from the island, we actually have an attraction here called Pili Palace, which is like a butterfly palace. Just thinking about future opening, sort of marketing.
They've got new owners, you know.
Yeah,
they've got new management.
Legs,
so they could.
This could have legs, lots of legs.
Lots of legs.
How many legs does a caterpillar have?
Lots.
I hate the butterflies. Hate them.
You hate butterflies?
I really dislike butterflies and moths.
So, how does that come into YEM?
It formed the basis of exactly everything I've done.
So,
it can cause trauma.
So your empowered mindset, is all about you worked with TNS, the football club. So, what's your business model, Tristian?
Yeah. I'm actually working on that. I listened to you when you answered, what do you do? And you answered it so clearly, and I can only do it in 1,000 words. But I'm obviously going to significantly reduce it. So I provide emotional care to footballers, and that then enables them to access their high performance more often and in a more consistent way across the season. So it fills a gap, because in the world of football or sport, we have aspects of psychology covered for, we have aspects of operational care, but we're still ignoring the fact that there's humans that we need to perform. And so we try our best to cater for that aspect that says, you need this person if you want him to access the sports psychologist, if you want him to access the data analysts and the sports science and the physiotherapist, you want them to be at their best in order to take on board everything they get. And so that's the gap I fill.
And how does intellectual property protection help Tristian, do you think?
I'm guessing the model that you've based, you'd have kind of web applications to support that and materials that you would use. So you'd be looking at those kinds of materials. You might want to brand the company, give it a kind of a unique name so that you're being associated with that brand, that business has been associated with that brand, and you'd protect that with the trademark. So there's a number of different things you could do. You're not going to be able to protect the idea of it, but there'll be elements within that idea that you can protect, like copyright and trademarks. And patents, probably not something that you'd be thinking about, but certainly copyright and trademarks.
The app that I'm building as a demo, it requires someone to log in, complete a scored assessment based on some statements, where they believe, what they believe about themselves, which gives them an indication of whether they're low in self-esteem or high in confidence or other areas. They then get between 8 to 10 questions that they can respond with in audio. So I ask the question on the screen, not me, the app does.
Yeah.
And they can then speak to the app just in conversational tone, because a lot of males tend to find it difficult to speak one-to-one with someone and explain and articulate how they feel.
Yeah.
So they do some conversational tone. That app then transcribes that into response, takes out the keywords, and then provides strategies as layer one, you could say, before they meet me on a later stage and we go through more detailed analysis of what they require. But within that, what would I need to be careful of, or what could I protect in the sense of what I've just described?
I mean, there's probably other apps that recognise voices and translate it into transcripts, and there's plenty of apps that do that kind of thing. We can talk into ChatGPT and they can give us a response. So the concept behind that is going to be difficult to protect. So that's why I think you need to be focusing on your brand.
But that's good news in me in a way as well, that no one could come and say, oh, we do that on our
You've copied it, yeah, because it's just a conceptual idea, and I would imagine the technology that you're using is available technology. Yeah, so unless you're coming up with a new form of technology to put that into an application, then focus on your brand, build your reputation, and then when people are thinking, I mean, what with the business thing, would you use that as a brand?
That's something I could ask as well. I know I might take this somewhere else down, but the business name, legal business name, is Your Empowered Mindset. But then since I've entered the world of football, my trading name is YEM Player Care, because it's trying to use the key words within the industry that would, meet in search bases and be clear on what area I fit within. So what do I need to be aware of if my legal trading name is Your Empowered Mindset, but I trade 99% of what I do and what I do online is YEM Player Care? Am I protected in that way, or do I need to?
I think you need to focus on protecting YEM.
Okay, that's okay.
Where did YEM come from? What was YEM before Your Empowered Mindset? Because you've been in the world of psychology and stuff.
No, it was literally because I remember things that sound funny. And so I was walking, I live near a beach, and I was walking across the promenade, and I was saying to my wife at the time, like, whatever I choose, I want it to be an acronym and something that, I had applied for a job years ago with a company called the Youth Endowment Fund, who just go by YEF. And so it's just YEF. And I was like, for some reason, I haven't forgot it. Like, it's just still there. And so I was like, oh, YEM. People won't be familiar with saying that phrase. And then I went to put the words in the acronym. So the acronym came first, and I was like,
This is what you would hope to happen.
And it's friendly
and you
as
would
well.
hope that there would be managers speaking to the football team and concerned about their mental health. We'll do a YEM test.
Yeah, that's it.
It sounds friendly, approachable, and it's nice.
Yeah.
And they'll all know that. Like you say, Uber instead of taxi earlier.
Yeah,
It's that kind of thing.
You're not taking an Uber. You're taking a taxi. But
go and get yourself some YEM today.
Yeah.
So maybe not as deep as you wanted there.
No, but that's what I mean. I think people overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Like you overcomplicated it a little bit there, didn't you? When I'm like, we'll just trademark YEM, and then people will just go, let's have a look at the YEM app. Let's see how your mental health is.
Yeah. I've had a scan online, more than a scan. I've looked and I did establish that there wasn't barely anything I could find, nothing at all relevant to my field under YEM, and so I need to
do it now.
That.
Yeah.
Do it now.
I might do it straight away now, and then I'll sell it to you.
You can
buy it now and sell it.
I'm Team New York Cosmos.
New York Cosmos. They're a football team, aren't they, Neil? What happened there? Because obviously you've got Cardiau Cosmos.
So that's one of our other products that we went through a hack as well through M-SParc last year, and then it was 2 years ago now, and then we still have a dispute ongoing with New York Cosmos football team, who have claimed that we're infringing on their rights. So that's been ongoing for about a year and a half now. We've reached an agreement where we're happy to do stuff without calling ourselves just Cosmos. So in the meantime, what we did as well, we registered the secondary name, which was Cardiau Cosmos, and that went under the radar, got passed, went on the journal, passed, and we're now using that actively. And it goes back to just wanting to do things right as well, because we could have just tried pushing the other Cosmos one, spent more money, but it did stop us from being able to release the product. Now that we can do it properly, everything's going well, but we've still got that little headache of sorting out with the New York Cosmos, which are on good terms with us, but it's just one of those where sometimes it feels unfair as well because they're across the pond, they're in New York. Our product is to do with children's stories and songs and helping the Welsh language, whereas they're a football team. So there's no crossovers really, but it came down to us being in the same class as them in one of the specifications. So it's just one of those, you need to be careful, you need to do things right. And I was mentioning to Emma earlier, I had 2 or 3 successes before with registering trademarks, and I thought it was going to be smooth sailing for this one. So I've learnt my lesson now, and I think from now on I will use a trademark attorney for those purposes. Then going back to wording as well, our new product is called PASS, and that's actually an abbreviation of Player Activity Statistics System, which not a lot of people know, but we'll register both probably. We'll try and register PASS because that's the short name, that's what everyone will know, and it's football related, and then the other one will be our sort of business name for doing stuff with the data. So yeah, it's we'll probably register that straight away before Tristian gets his hands on registering. And the thing is, like, you don't need to sell it either. It's like you say, it is cheap, or if you're going to be putting all your blood, sweat, and tears into a business or company, it's just that little step that needs to be done.
And like I said, and I'll reiterate that over and over, there's so much help from the government, from the IPO, take advantage of it.
And what I found as well, when I got that initial letter of like someone's, I can't remember what the word is when someone goes against your opposition. I got that letter, I thought, I'm going to court. Like I thought, oh my gosh, I'm being arrested. But the wording in the letter from IPO was like, no, this is the worst case scenario, this is that, and FAQs, and then that put me at ease. And then I went online as well, and that also said like worst case scenario is you might get called into the sort of the actual proceedings to see who's right and wrong, and there'll be a judge or barrister or whatever, and then they'll say, and then at that point as well the costs are capped as well, and then you pay whatever. So it's like it sounds scary to begin with, but even if you do have to go through the whole hurdles of getting opposed, it's not the end of the world. You can and for us we just decided on a slightly different name. So
you joked there about trademarking YEM yourself and then selling it. Is that one of the like pitfalls, I guess, of the intellectual property world?
I know we joked about it, but we wouldn't allow anyone to trademark it unless they have the intention of using it for trade, and you would have to prove, like, within 6 months that you are trading using that name. So I am not actively encouraging people to just buy trademarks.
That was something that happened during the .com boom. People would buy any website and then just sit on it, knowing that they can sell it because they knew that it would. Absolutely.
21st century fox.
Yeah. I still actually own liverpoolfc.rad, and I'm on LinkedIn every year with the I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but with their marketing team, where they're saying, yeah, we really want it, please pass it, because they don't want it to be on the open market and then someone else grabs it. And I'm a Liverpool fan, and I've said, I don't want anything for it, you can just have it. And they've so every year it's my annual message to say that it's coming up for renewal, and I keep paying it. But it's one of those where I don't have any trademarks or rights to anything Liverpool related, but I have got the domain. So yeah, it's quite an interesting one. That
we start negotiating a few season tickets.
Years and years and years ago, when I was about 17, I'm 37 now, so that's 20 years ago. Wow. I did the first YouTube background page for the YouTube kids, for the Liverpool kids YouTube page, and they sent me a fully signed football shirt with everyone on it. So that was quite interesting. Cool. I love Liverpool, so I won't charge them for the domain. But interesting, if you were to buy someone else's company now, and they've got trademarks and stuff, would those trademarks come with a company, and then you just change who's on the register or whatever? Yeah.
Okay. So it's quite simple to change.
So you can do it that way. Yeah.
Or you may wish to retain the trademarks and then sell them separately.
Actually, yeah, because that's.
So apart from protecting like a brand, because obviously, like with YEM, for example, like it's so much to do with you, Tristian, and like what you provide and the services and your good name. Like you want to protect YEM, you don't want like everyone using YEM and then diluting it or like giving a bad service and then ruining the name. But what other benefits are there of protecting your intellectual property?
I think it just gives you that kind of security over your business as well. And if you're looking for any kind of funding to expand your business, I think anyone who's a potential investor would look at your portfolio of IP and realise that you're taking your business seriously. So I think it just gives you that little bit of a competitive edge.
Yeah.
And and you can use it to leverage finance. That there are some conversations that we're having with the big banks at the moment on options for businesses to leverage finance over their IP and use it as like a kind of an asset against a loan. So there's a huge amount of benefits, and and who doesn't want to put a little R in a circle on their brand? It just makes you look a lot more
Like legit.
like a serious business. Yeah, a lot more legit. Yeah.
You did have a warning this morning with Sky Glass.
Yeah.
Do you want to recap what happened there?
I was at an exhibition in London, and this gentleman come up to me, and he just said, "Oh, I want to tell you a story. I had a business. It was called Sky Glass. I fitted skylights. I didn't protect it as a trademark. And then Sky Glass came along, and there was absolutely nothing I could do, because when people were searching for my company online, then they were finding Sky Glass, and it just put me out of business. So I wish I'd trademarked it.
Yeah.
Because if I had, then he would have been in a much stronger position to maybe not defend it all the way, so we kept the business name, but at least he may have been able to sell the name to Sky. It's just one of those cases that you hear not too regularly, but when you do hear them, it is
quite sad,
such a
isn't it?
shame. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer of a way to end the podcast.
Yes, don't end it like that. Let's talk about caterpillars again.
I should have kept them till last. That's what we did this morning. Just to end then. Shall we all just plug some stuff? So Emma, how can the IPO
how can businesses get
and
well, given that another reason that we're here today and yesterday is because we're launching a patent library here at M-SParc, which is a really great opportunity for businesses in the area and across Wales as well. It will be the first patent library in North Wales, which is a real positive. It's really because it'll be more of a hands-on experience for IP. Nobody wants to trawl through a government website trying to find what they need. It is hard work. So having the ability to come in and actually have a plain English conversation with someone is a real benefit for this area, and I think is such a positive. So yeah, I'm giving that a plug.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
I'll put the links in the description so people can click through to the event where we're launching. We're launching the Pat Lib, but also to the IPO websites that you shared this morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Tristian, do you want to plug? Do you want to give YEM a plug? I imagine that YEM's quite.
It's a niche market.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a football team, I guess. Are you branching out into other sports?
Yeah, branching out into other sports. I think one other thing I would plug is YEM Player Care was formed in order to make care and emotional support affordable to many more layers of sport than the elite level. So I would say never be afraid of a conversation. It's growing in reputation, and I think there's some negative aspects to that, in the sense that more and more clubs might be assuming that I would be working with a higher profile of club, and that then it becomes a case of, oh, it's not for us then, when it was never built that way. It was built for non-league or higher grassroots clubs in Wales to be able to access at whatever point is comfortable for them. And so if there is someone listening that thinks, oh, well, I'm a part of a football club or know someone of a football club and this sounds interesting, it's not something that you wouldn't entertain. It's not a conversation that we can't have.
Great stuff. Like I do want to just get through the plugs, but that did make me think, like, you know, the big clubs, the ones that are like at peak performance, like that little extra, like little, it's the little bits, isn't it? That like that's the difference between like Tottenham winning the Europa League last season and being relegated
exactly right.
this season.
It's exactly right. And I think when you work within the space, you can see things in a more maybe behind the scenes aspect, even though you're not behind the scenes. But you take Tottenham, for example, now, they would look at all types of intervention. They do not want to go down. They would spend thousands, if not millions, on ensuring they don't lose their status as a Premier League club. When you look at it from a human perspective, they're already elite performers. You just need to give them an avenue to rant, to rave, to let go, to feel as though they've been heard as individuals. And then they will turn up on the training pitch the best version of themselves. They'll turn up on the weekend the best version of themselves. And so you can see, evidently, without knowing what goes on behind the scenes in Tottenham Hotspur, that isn't an option, right? It's clear because the players are performing too rigid, they're too intense, they're too afraid, where they don't have an avenue to say, do you know what, I'm going to have an hour to myself with someone now that isn't a part of the football club, that's totally confidential. I'm going to talk about all my issues and whatever I need to do. And then when I go back tomorrow, I'll be clearer. So you can see it on any sort of scale that actually it's still something that they're not addressing. They've come out recently in Roberto De Zerbi, the new manager, has asked for the club to employ a full-time sports psychologist. So you can see immediately they've gone in and said but it still might not solve the issues if the human side is not being met. Yeah,
but when you're an elite athlete, like, it is the mentality that sometimes is the final hurdle.
Yeah.
And Neil, what do you want to?
The app that we're developing called Pass is not going to be available for another 9 months. So
is that going to be for everybody?
For everyone, all kids and stuff. But I'll reverse the plug and I'll plug M-SParc instead, just for all the support that we get is fantastic. Yeah. So for the 6 listeners that are listening to this on YouTube, if you're ever considering being a virtual tenant or a physical tenant in M-SParc, go and do it. Tristian's saying here because we both had, we were in London in the French embassy last month, literally having champagne and oysters and French pastries just through M-SParc and their links with Welsh Government and them sending us to a very nice sporting event in London. So like the opportunities are there within M-SParc. If you're thinking of inquiring with M-SParc, go ahead, do it. Become a virtual tenant or a real tenant. Well, I'm getting no commissions for this.
I was going to plug M-SParc, but you've done it better than I could. So thank you for that, and thank you for this chat. Emma, what football team do you support?
I don't support football. I support my son's team. He plays for Cwmcarn.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Come on, Cwmcarn. Let's go. All right. Thank you very much, and best of luck with all your future endeavours. Sounds like I'm sucking.
Thank you.